Keep watching to learn about 3 important insurance policies your law firm should have. Hey, thanks for watching today. We're going to learn about the 3 most important types of insurance that your plaintiff law firm should have. And joining me today to teach us about that is Mike Shea. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Mike. Good afternoon. Glad to be
Yeah,
here.
good to see you. Well, Mike is the president and CEO of one of our key insurance partners with the AdvoCap Insurance Agency, the Shea Barclay Group, and he's speaking to us today from Tampa, Florida, where I imagine it's nice. It's always nice there.
Oh, we've finally gotten into some of that winter weather, Mike. I think it got down to 65. But like Tampa, there's a storm kind of rolling in right now that I can see coming across downtown. So hopefully that's a sign that maybe we'll dip down below 60.
Oh boy, we're trying to get to 60. Great. Well, thanks for joining us. We have formed the AdvoCap Insurance Agency, as you know, specifically to help plaintiff lawyers navigate the finance, or rather the insurance market. So Mike's going to tell us today about the 3 most important forms of insurance you should have at your law firm. Mike, what's number 1?
Number 1, Mike, is definitely professional liability insurance. It's certainly the most commonly known and widely purchased amongst law firms. It can be the name of the policy is sometimes known as an errors or omissions policy, as well as a malpractice policy. But despite the different names, it's all the same type of policy. And so what that policy covers is negligent acts occurred by any attorney in the firm. It also extends coverage to former attorneys, partner level attorneys of counsel, and also employees within the firm.
Got it. And viewers, stay tuned for an upcoming video in which Mike and I will dive deeper into professional liability insurance and what you should know when you're looking at your policy to renew it or purchase a new one. Great. Mike, thanks for number 1. What's number 2?
So number 2 is a relatively newer coverage, but incredibly important and quickly, in our opinion, becoming as important as professional liability policy. And so it jumps up the list to number 2. Because of a number of reasons and kind of the world that we're living in. But that's known as cyber liability coverage, also network security liability. Again, the names are interchangeable. It's the same coverage. What's unique about that product is that 2 things. It's broken down into a bunch of different modules that have different coverage buckets, so to speak. And so while there's a liability component, we haven't seen a ton of case law where a firm has been held liable for a, in the courts for a claim, but there's certainly requirements at a state level in terms of notifications in the event you have a breach. So these policies pick up that cost, and that cost is moving on a daily basis. I mean, it's gone up now, they say north of $300 per record. So you can imagine the costs associated with an uninsured claim or an uninsured data breach that you may have, but also, so the notification costs and the cost for fines and penalties, we believe are really where the value is in these policies. And it changes from state to state. So every state is different. And while we try to stay in tune with the state cyber laws and notification requirement laws, seeing the fact that we work with clients in now north of 40 states. But, like laws, they're constantly evolving and constantly changing. So
right.
We do our best. But that's certainly become a very important coverage for the law firm insurance portfolio.
When I think about the liability that a firm could have, if they've been in business for years, they might have tens or even hundreds of thousands of client and former client records in their database. And if that got breached, that could be very expensive.
It could. And so just an interesting little fact to speak about Florida. So the laws, the governor changed the laws here in 2014. So prior to 2014, if you had a data breach, you could have the investigators, FDLE come in, do the investigation. If it was deemed that no information was obtained or breached, then you did not have to notify the folks with the PII that you had. In 2014, those laws changed that said, as soon as you have a breach, whether or not the information was obtained, you were still required by state law to notify all those individuals.
Wow. That's a huge burden to have to deal with logistically, but also financially. Great.
Absolutely.
Okay, super. And what's number 3?
Number three, this is a coverage that's been around for a long time. It's called employment practices liability coverage. Unlike the other two, this is the only name for this product, but it's what this product does. It extends coverage for what we'd like to define as more EEOC type related claims. So not professional negligence claims, but your harassment, your discrimination, wrongful termination. There's coverage enhancements for law firms where you can have an endorsement added for failure to make failure to make partner. And
Wow.
they also extend third party coverage in the event, a claim is filed against you guys as it relates to one of those scenarios that was by a client of the firm or somebody outside of the actual firm. So that, and then given the COVID environment, we are seeing a lot of those claims start to trickle in with the amount of furloughs and layoffs that we've seen, and we expect the litigation environment for employment related liability claims to really escalate over the next couple of years.
Definitely, definitely. Well, Mike, thanks for being with us today for a few little tidbits. And I know that your history and knowledge in the insurance industry serving plaintiff lawyers goes back a couple of decades. So we're so glad that we've teamed up together. If you'd like to reach out to myself or Mike, visit the AdvoCap Insurance Agency website at advocapinsurance.com. Mike, thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you having me.
See you soon.
Okay.